All right, I spent $200 a month to test ChatGPT Operator, so you don't have to. Today, we are looking at my friend's new Airbnb, and the goal is to learn how to use ChatGPT Operator to optimize her listing language so she doesn't have to pay a virtual assistant $4 an hour to do so. So let's get started with an illustrative example. I am going to look for an Airbnb in Seattle. So I like Seattle. It's a good city. I'm from there. And what I want to look for are new Airbnb listings. So I already found 2 new Airbnb listings. One is a brand new host. They've got their listing language here. The other is a super host. So they have experience hosting and they don't have a lot of listing language. And so what I want to do is use ChatGPT Operator to find top rated Airbnbs with the best language, figure out what they do in their listing, and draft that language for the new Airbnb. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with typing in the request to figure out which Airbnbs in Seattle have the best listing language. So I'm asking ChatGPT Operator now, hi, I would like to log into Airbnb and summarize what themes there are in top listings to create a better summary for my new listing. Please, or I guess it's weird to say please, log into Airbnb and summarize for me. So let's see if ChatGPT Operator is able to actually get into Airbnb and summarize the language. It's going to ask me to log into Airbnb since it doesn't have its own accounts. And I've noticed it has to do it in this window that is not my own browser, but its browser. And so it gives me the ability to take control and log in. All right, so I'm going to log in and take control. Let's see. So I was actually really curious to see if Airbnb could summarize language without me logging into my Airbnb account, just as a guest on the Airbnb website. And it looks to be doing so. So what I see ChatGPT doing is going to the Airbnb site, pulling the guest favorites, clicking show more, and reading the language that's in the listing. So let's see how many guest favorites it selects to build its sample of what best in class language looks like. It looks like it's on its second listing. And it's looking in Tennessee because that's where I am right now. So it'll be interesting to see if it has a different perspective for Seattle, because one thing I didn't specify is I didn't specify the city. So that's a learning there. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT to pivot to Seattle while it's mid-activity, and let's see how well it does it. Can you summarize the listing language of top listings in Seattle instead of Tennessee? So it gave me the summary in Tennessee, and that was actually pretty quick. It worked for 3 minutes, and it says that the top Airbnbs share similarities in terms of listing nature, scenic views, tranquility, modern amenities, and being family and pet friendly. So let's see how similar or dissimilar Seattle is to that. And it's interesting. It set the number of listings it wanted to look at on its own. So it looked at 3. And so if I wanted to get really detailed with this, I should probably ask Operator to look at a number of listings. So Operator, can you look at 20 top listings or 10 top listings and figure out what language it's using? So here it's going into Seattle and it's opening its first description in Seattle. It's closing the description and opening another Seattle listing. I think it's really great that you don't actually have to log in to Airbnb for ChatGPT to do this. It's almost as if platforms don't recognize that it's not a human looking. And so there's a lot of opportunity here to read websites as if you and I would read the website. All right, here's another guest favorite. ChatGPT is reading the description. And now it's closing. It's going, looks like it's going to one more. So let's see if this is the last one. This is so amazing that it can literally do the search, navigate to the page. So this is another guest favorite, top 5% home. And that's another piece of language that you could ask Operator to do. You could say, I want to look at the top 1% or the top 5% homes on Airbnb. And the language that you use will be really important because it's going to do exactly what you ask. And if you don't ask specifically, it seems like it makes its own assumptions, like it's not going to ask you a follow-up question. Okay, so Operator decided to look at 3 listings in Seattle, and it summarized the themes as being related to central location, modern amenities, unique interiors, proximity to nature, and convenience. So you want to make sure you highlight these in your listing. So let's see how well ChatGPT does with rewriting listings. I'm going to give it a link to the 2 new listings I found. So this is a new listing in Edmonds, Washington. It's also a new host. So it looks like she only has had 1 review, so probably not a lot of guests. So I'm going to copy this link and say, based on what you've seen with top listing summaries, how would you rewrite this listing? And I'll be specific, top listing summaries in Seattle. How would you rewrite this listing to attract more guests. All right, and I put the link in there. So let's see. So it's interesting. It's actually not a hyperlink. It's just, I just copy and pasted the whole link. And Operator is going into the browser. And it's going to, let's see if we can open the listing I sent. I'm not sure if it can. Okay, it found it. Stay with Mary and Edmonds. Okay, so this is the listing that it came up with. Nestled in a peaceful neighborhood, our private room offers a serene escape with the convenience of being just 5 to 10 minutes away from light rail stations, Edmonds College, downtown Edmonds, and the beautiful waterfront. So it talks about nature, it talks about convenience, it talks about proximity to Seattle and public transportation. And here it goes into the space, it walks through the amenities, and it talks about the experience. So you're going to have, not just a Airbnb reservation, but you're going to go to Edmonds and have this experience. I really like it. So let's see what was in here before. Oh, yes. This is a lot better than what was in here before. In here, it's talking about the room has a window facing the backyard and a glass entry door. Both window and glass have blackout blinds. The room is this is a listing of the amenities, but it's not actually selling me the experience. And so when I'm thinking about whether or not I want to book this Airbnb, I'm reading this listing and then I'm reading this listing, and I definitely would want to book this listing. And that whole process of reading the top listings and asking ChatGPT Operator to rewrite took less than 5 minutes. So I'm actually really impressed. Okay, let me redo this. And I'm going to go and look at this listing with the superhost that really only has one line. And so I'm going to ask Operator, what should this host write if they want to be like a top 5% or top 1% Seattle Airbnb listing? Let's see what happens. So I'm going to say, how would you revise this listing description to be similar to a top 5% or top 1% Airbnb listing in Seattle? And I'm just going to drop the link in there. So this is a new listing. This is one that only had a sentence worth of language, which is surprising because it's a superhost. And let's see. So ChatGPT Operator is opening the description. It's this room and shoreline. And this was quick. Wow. This took 21 seconds. And it created a revised description. So before it said, come stay in peaceful master bedroom with a private bathroom and shoreline. Here it says, stay in a master bedroom with a private bathroom offering comfort, tranquility, in a quiet neighborhood. Enjoy the convenience of being close to Seattle's attractions, parks, and natural beauty. I don't even think it knows that this listing is close to Seattle. It's just creating that. And so we probably could feed it the address of the listing and have it list amenities. let's see, your private room is designed for relaxation, including a comfortable bed, ample natural light, and modern bathroom. I don't know how it knows this or if it read the description. Self check-in with smart lock for your convenience, high-speed Wi-Fi, and dedicated workspace, free parking on premises. So it must have read what the place offers and incorporated that into the description. So good job, operator. Immerse yourself in the tranquility of shoreline while being close to the excitement of Seattle. So it understands the difference between shoreline and Seattle, which is awesome. Yeah, I think this was pretty good. You could definitely add some information like, listing natural sites near the listing that someone could go to. But overall, I think Operator really knocked it out of the park. So what I'm going to tell my friend is, do not pay the virtual assistant $4 an hour to do this work when ChatGPT Operator can do it in under 5 minutes. So that's Operator earning its $200 a month. Until next time, thanks.